welcome to Out of the Loop from the Block M Podcast Network, part of the Fan First Sports Network. Podcast that blends incomprehensible shouting with clever insights and lukewarm takes. I am Jared Stormer of the Block M Podcast Network and MaizenBrew.com. With me, as always, is Andy Bailey, my hetero life mate. Andy Bailey, a wizened pharaoh, native of the Big Ten lands, leave gifts at his altar. How the hell are you, my friend?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing well. It was a lovely weekend of college football. Michigan gets the W, and really it all starts and ebbs and flows from there. Watched a ton of ball this weekend, man. Got a wedding next weekend, which I know should be illegal. But fact of the matter is, I have it, and I had to get it in this weekend, so I'm caught up.
You were texting producer Tony and I at 3 a.m. like Eastern time, like, if you have your notifications on, that's on you. How is this my fault? Like, I'm just enjoying Michigan State right now.
Turn off your notifications. It was a late kick for Michigan State, man. You
That's
know,
crazy.
I don't really wish anything great on them, but that was tough ask. I'm like texting you. I'm like, it's 1:42 a.m. Michigan time. And like it's halftime here.
I could not say it for that one on the East Coast. I mean, unsurprisingly, but man, that was a tough game. Seemed like a pretty good game though.
Yeah, it was. Michigan State was competitive in that. Learned a little bit more about the USC defense. Probably not fixed all the way. It's maybe improved. Got to see Jaden Maeva, but that's a podcast for another time. We've got a Michigan game to talk about. Let's touch the banner before we get into it. Michigan basketball schedule has been released, opening up the season December 6th with Rutgers at Maryland, USC at Penn State, Wisconsin. So a Big Ten schedule is set now. Any big takeaways from this?
I can't believe it's getting so close. When does non-conference? When's the first game of the year? Do you know?
I do not, but I can pull that up really quick. So I believe we open up with one of those tournaments. This is why we need Kellen here. Our local
We'll have to have
Michigan
Kellen on
basketball.
soon to
November 3rd, Oakland.
Okay, nice. Okay, no, man, I'm excited. My brain can't fully process what this schedule is you see in front of me. Like, it just looks like it's in like Chinese right now. I just can't read this. But I'm excited as hell for basketball season, man. And when it gets a little bit closer, start diving in a little bit, we'll have Kellen on to talk about everything. I think it's going to be a really fun year. But it's like, it's hard to shift our brain around. Like, I mean, hockey, I don't know, drops puck, kicks off. I don't know what to say in this phrase, but they drop puck in less than 2 weeks.
That's wild, man. Yeah, well, we better wrap our brains around it because nothing stops the inescapable march of time, and it'll be here before you know it.
True.
Big day for Mason Graham. Wanted to touch on this. Didn't touch on him in our last little Michigan Wolverines in the NFL update. But, I mean, I heard a lot of Twitter warriors out there saying bust. And you just watch what you say about my boy Mason Graham. Had a 46% pass rush win rate. The average defensive tackle has about a 9% pass rush win rate. Incredible stuff from him as the Browns upset the Packers. But we knew this. And other news, spoon found in the kitchen.
It's like, what did I tell you after one preseason game of Mason Graham? I was like, you might throw some money on Defensive Rookie of the Year. Like, he's that level. He probably won't get it because Abdul Carter exists and it's a more flashy position. But Mason Graham was a steal for them. Daniel Jeremiah had a great take on this. Kind of like when the Lions traded away Stafford and got Goff. It's like, but we got all these picks and we got Goff. And it's like kind of when the Browns moved back in the draft, like, we got all these picks and we got Mason Graham. You know, it was like the consolation prize, but now it's quickly becoming the star of the show.
Yeah, and that defense might be the best defense in the NFL. He's a big part of it. The Devin Bush Renaissance. Good for them. You absolutely love to see it. Anything else? I mean, we've got some updates on the injuries, not anything too specific, just that a lot of guys working through some stuff. That was a deep injury report. Once again, I think this bye week just comes at a really great time, particularly from a health perspective.
Yeah, in our Mason Brew Roundtable this week, ask, like, what do you want to see the team improve upon over the bye week? Health. Just get healthy. Just spend some time. Do whatever you can to expedite that process.
Yeah, if that's not playing football to get healthy, so be it, because I think we're trending in a positive direction on the field. Just got to get all our guys back. So hopefully get some updates here during the bye week. Brother, we got a game to talk about here. Anything else we need to touch on before we get to Michigan at Nebraska?
Let's get to the main course.
I love it. Michigan at Nebraska, 30-27 in this one. A little bit more points allowed than we were hoping, but we'll kind of get into some of the circumstances surrounding that. We're going to do letterbox grades today. We're going to go position group. You can go players. You can give them letterbox grades. So that's 1 to 5 stars. This on the verge of the Paul Thomas Anderson film, One Battle After Another, which I'm just ready to give 5 stars to. I'm so ready for this. So that is going to be the format for going through this today. But before we get into that, give me your 30,000 foot view of this game.
Improvement, good, but not great. Like, there was a lot here to like, a lot to take away from, but for every, like, 5 to 10 good plays, there's 1 or 2 just sprinkled in there to bring you back down to earth, like, "Oh, man, if we do this right, oh, if we execute here, this game could have been a blowout." I firmly believe that Michigan's 3 touchdowns better than that Nebraska team.
Yeah, I mean, you take away some really silly nonsense occurring on the Hail Mary, some nonsense additionally with a taunting penalty that extended the drive and gives points. Pretty close to your 30-17 prediction there. So I think this is a much better team than that Nebraska team. That being said, lots to clean up, but I'm not going to nitpick too much when there was also a lot to be really encouraged by in this one. So I'm excited to go through this, give our grades, talk about obviously what needs to be improved upon, but more importantly, focus on where this team has grown. This is a better team than last year. Let's just start it there.
It's
And that's what we needed to see off the top.
it's a better team than last year, but more importantly, it's a better team in week 4 than it was in week 4 last year.
Yeah. I mean, it's a better team in week 4 than it probably was to end the season last year. Truth
I
be
don't
told,
know.
we had more answers on
I don't know if
offense.
I don't know if this defense right now could hold up against Ohio State last year.
Yeah, we'll see.
We
Luckily,
just
a
gave
lot
up
of time to
300
improve
to
there.
Patrick Mahomes cosplayer.
Timu Mahomes.
Mhm.
Well, you know what it is. Let's start on the offense, brother. So out of 5 stars there, I think we start with Bryce Underwood a lot. Can I just give some shout out to these running backs? I would love to start with the running backs in this one. And I can't give a perfect 5-star. I'm very reluctant to give 5 stars for movies as well. Like you really got to do something exceptional. But this is a 4.5 stars for me for the running backs. 290 yards on the ground when you include Bryce Underwood's tally. Buck 49 for Justice Haynes. He continues to pace the Big Ten, and that gap is growing, not shrinking. And Jordan Marshall also with 80 yards and a touchdown in this one. We have a backfield, man. Like this is an incredible backfield. Justice Haynes has brought a lot to the position, and now you're starting to see Jordan Marshall work his way in as well.
I'll give it 5. Jordan Marshall could have
Let's
gone
go.
over 100 and had 2 touchdowns if he hadn't slid at the end, but instead he wanted to make the winning play for the team and sacrifice personal glory, and that's worthy of 5 stars in my book because that was a home run touchdown the last play of the game to ice it and seal it. But he smartly goes down. So shout out to him. I thought the running backs were both excellent in this game, making the most, reading the blocks, just doing everything they could. Even seeing Justice Haynes have an impact as a pass catcher on some screen plays in this game as well. So mixing it up on both sides and just really just blossoming as a duo, man. I think they still haven't even reached their ceiling.
No, definitely not. And Justice Haynes with that breakaway speed, again, another 70 plus, a 50 plus yarder goes for a 75-yard touchdown in this one. Jordan Marshall has a 54-yarder, Bryce Underwood a 37-yarder. These are explosive plays in the running game, and it's starting to become a trend now, not just pure luck. And, a lot of this, we'll get into the offensive line probably next year, but I want to give some shine on some of the lesser plays. You called out Jordan Marshall's there. That was a really heady play. Justice Haynes just beating his man on a screen, getting outside and extending a 3rd down drive on that 9-minute drive, which was a thing of beauty. I'll give that 5 stars. Well, no, 4.5 because you got to end with a touchdown. Yeah. But excellent stuff from these running backs, man. And since Karan Higdon came on for Jim Harbaugh, this has been a truly special run at Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, the running backs just getting better. Even think about like the 2016 team when they had Chris Evans, Davion Smith, Isaac, just like all splitting carries deep down the roster. And then to the 2-headed monster you alluded to. And like you said, man, Justice Haynes is pulling away with his rushing lead in the Big Ten, almost 100 yards ahead of 2nd place. And he sits 3rd nationally, getting the FBS. So we could be witnessing a special season and perhaps a Doak Walker season.
Yeah, that's the kind of level we're on right now. I was hearing Heisman talk about Justice Haynes today, and I'm not going to quell those fires. Go ahead, I'll fan the flames. Don't mind it whatsoever. And if he can continue this, I mean, this torrid pace, then who knows, man. Let's go to the offensive line, which I also thought played much better today, particularly on Saturday, particularly in run blocking, and particularly, with the fact that we've got some guys out there. I was very impressed with guys on the interior of that line. Crippen, Guarnara-Sauce, Ifobi, I thought played really well in this one. So I'm going to give it 4 stars. There's still room to grow with this offensive line, but the fact that we're trending in the right direction and we were able to run for 290 and 3 touchdowns, I'm pleased with that.
I'm going to go a little below. I'm going to go 3. I think there was a lot of good, but there was also some bad mixed in. But I do want to lead with Greg Crippen was outstanding in run blocking in this game. Sprung both the 2 big runs, getting 2 on the play. Seems really just in charge up front. Like he was setting the pace for the whole group to dominate, communicating pressures, just doing a great job all around and kind of just becoming the player we hoped he'd become. Like I never knew if I'd see this kind of push from him, but he just looked in complete command at every instance of this game, whether it be in space, whether it be inside, whether it be zone blocking, gap scheme. Crippen was fantastic in this one. And also, I think Jake Guaranara is our starting right guard moving forward. I think Brady Norton is relegated.
Totally correct there. I couldn't agree more on the Guaranara take. Yeah, when El Hadi comes back, that's your left and right guard there for the rest of the season. Afobe's going to continue to get some run. They were talking this week about guys that we want to see who belongs out there. Could very well be your 6-0 lineman. He played well in this one too. Great call on Greg Crippen. A few weeks after I said, I think we've seen what Greg Crippen is, he goes and totally redeems himself. And I'm happy to be wrong. I will always happily eat a plate of crow when it means I'm wrong about one of these guys. A guy, Crippen minutes, baby. We've been on it for some time, and he had arguably his best game as a Wolverine. If that's going to be the Crippen we get moving forward, I think we're in awesome shape. As I've said before, I think as the center goes, so goes this offensive line. So I get why you give it 3 stars. You know, the Evan Link pull and totally whiffing on his guy, not great. But I'm giving it the 4 stars because, like, we're seeing improvement in run blocking, and that's really what I needed to see. Pass pro, we'll get there.
Yeah, so it's funny. The pass pro is sharper at the beginning of the season, so they can do that. Now it's just like, can we just level both out? Can we just get them to a nice even point? But with Michigan's identity being running the football, it's so important to see the run blocking back to the standard.
Yep, I'm with you there. All right, let's go to the receiving core here. Do you want to do pass catchers together? Or do you want to do receivers, tight ends separately?
I have them the same grade, so
I'm gonna go ahead and give this one. 2.5 feels a little cruel.
Two.
You're going 2. I'm going 2.5 stars. Half stars are a thing on Letterboxd. So some drops here, some missed opportunities here. And we just got to get a little bit more from these guys. McCauley also had some heady plays, and he had a really great 3rd down conversion himself where he just beats his man and then lowers the shoulder and kind of goes through a guy. I was very impressed by that. Almost had a toe tap catch that would have been very impressive there. So I like what I've seen from him, but some of these other guys here, particularly Channing Goodwing, had another drop in this one. Tough one. Samaj Morgan with a drop in this one, so can't go higher than 2.5 stars.
Yeah, I'm only going 2 stars. I had 4 total drops under my estimation, 2 for Goodwin, 2 for Samaj. Samaj did have a great 3rd down play later on to keep the drive going, breaking a tackle, getting the 1st down. Also had the throw to McCauley, so receiver on receiver crime there. Was it what you wanted? Just a little bit more error. Very close. I give 2 stars just because I think this unit can be good. They're just need to be a little bit more consistent. Like, you don't need these guys to be game breakers or anything like that, but like, you're just looking for consistency. Like, if they just execute the level they're capable of, like, I'd be more than happy to be like 3, 4 stars, throw them out there. But this game, they did enough to to keep it above board here. They weren't like the reason we lost or anything of that nature. And I thought they blocked their ass off. So maybe if that's the case for 2.5 stars, I can see that thing. I thought they did a great job in run blocking. On the perimeter, we talked about that in our pregame last week, especially on the screen passes. Thought they were much more physical, much more connected. So that was a good part of the game to see.
Yeah, I know Andrew Marsh missed one when he was out there. It was like,
he got his penalty too. That illegal formation was on him.
Yeah, yep. That's becoming pretty constant, which not surprisingly, we didn't see as much of him in this game, but Channing Goodwin's out there quite a bit. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody emerges this bye week, and how that all shakes out, who's going to be getting time. But I agree with you. There's more in the tank from these guys, so it's okay to set your expectations a little higher. And it's a 2.5 star, however you want to go with it, rating, but it's still better than anything we had going last year.
You're not wrong about that. Last year was about a half star for the entire season. Unless Colston Loveland was not dribbling the football like a basketball when he did against Texas, then it might bump up to 2. But no, this room still has room to grow. We could see guys like Fred Moore emerge after the bye week. We see other people step back up. Anthony Simpson got a little bit of run in this one. So, there's still potential for them to grow, and it helps when you have a capable passer.
Yeah, and Kendrick Bell back there returning kicks, at least for the onside kick, which was a great play by him.
Great play by him.
He is a wide receiver, but special teams will be mentioned in this as well. Marlon Klein, good to see him back out there, 2 catches for 21 yards. I didn't really, on my rewatch, how did he look as a blocker? Did he look like he still had the juice?
He looked like Klein. So it was consistent. Good. It was physical. It was part of the reason the runs were there to hit because Klein was back there. So that was good to see. Obviously, no Hogan Hansen in this one, so I think that was a detriment. And I think Zach Marshall got his first, was it on his first career catch or second career catch? But it was good to see him get involved.
I think he had one against Oklahoma, didn't he?
It might have. I know AB's targeted several times. So it's like, this is right in that vicinity. So good for him.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to Zach Marshall there. So, room for improvement overall in the passing game. The good news is next up on the docket, Wisconsin, almost the antithesis of the Nebraska defense, in that they're pretty strong at stopping the run, but not as good through the pass. So, be interesting to see how Michigan plans that attack as they go up against a very different defense on a pretty desperate Wisconsin team, I would have to imagine. But
Yeah.
we'll talk about that not this Thursday, but the following Thursday as we're going into the bye week. But you know me, I'm a psycho. I'll probably start the prep work early. I've already started it mentally. Bryce Underwood, the quarterback position in this one. Technically, Samaj Morgan also threw a pass in this one. We're not going to give that a rating because you probably know it wouldn't be very charitable. But Bryce Underwood in this one, 12 to 22, a buck 05, and then the 8 carries for 61 yards and 1 touchdown, including that 37-yarder there. What'd you think about Bryce Underwood in this game?
So I said offensive line 3. I'll give 3.5 for Bryce. It's again, I'm viewing this through the lens of a true freshman quarterback, and like there were the mistakes. He had a couple missed throws. He had the fumble, obviously, but the growth from Oklahoma to now is why I think this is positive. I don't care about any other statistic. He got the win. He looked in control the whole time. And at Oklahoma, it just felt like he was just drinking from a fire hose. Like he never had his feet underneath him. Everything was going a million miles an hour. He couldn't see it. Today, it felt like another game. And like on rewatch, it just really stands out the command he has of the offense, the control he has. He was seeing everything clearly, had a good sense of when to bail in the pocket. Chip Lindsey also helped him out a lot. So like for a true freshman, I thought we saw real growth here. And that's what I'm going to hang my grade on.
Yeah, I'll give him 3.5. Is that what you gave him as
Yep.
well, or 3?
3.5.
Yeah, okay. I'll give him 3.5. Feels right here. 4 drops that would have put him at 16 of 22 for, however many yards there. And then you're looking at almost 70% completion. So I think he did exactly what we needed to do in this. I think he did what was asked of him. Chip Lindsey, honorary grade, 4.5 stars. I just really like what Chip Lindsey does, man.
Come
He
on.
understands.
Welcome to my
He
side, baby.
understands. I was never not on your side. I just wanted to see it. I've seen it now. Yeah, I just wanted to see it. And now I've seen it. I mean, we were texting early on in this one, like Chip Lindsey's got it. And what I mean by that is just something Kirk Campbell didn't have, a feel for the game, situational football, getting your quarterback into a rhythm, making sure you're still utilizing your strengths, clock control, things like that just we didn't have last year. And it feels like an adult in the room there. Play caller there, and very impressed with him through these first couple weeks, even against Oklahoma, where we were nitpicking some stuff there. I think there's reasons behind a lot of the calls, and it's a very intentional play caller that we have there at Michigan now, which I'm really excited to have.
Well, one thing I noticed too that's very subtle in this game about like the understanding situationally, not panicking or anything like that. Michigan only ran 21 plays in the first half against Nebraska.
Yeah.
Compare that to Oklahoma.
Felt like we didn't have the ball.
Yeah, compare that to Oklahoma. They ran 34 plays in the first half, and they ran over 40 they ran 40 exactly against Central. So, like, not panicking, sticking with your game plan, keeping the offense within itself, I thought was that's what you get from a veteran play caller. He understands it. He's not going to panic, not going to blink. And Michigan should have gone into the half up 7, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yes, most definitely. But high marks for Chip Lindsey there. Overall, just a solid day from the offense. When you put up 30 points, I think that's a good sign against a pretty quality defense. I think this is a pretty good Nebraska defense. They're not quite as good as they were last year. This is a quality opponent, man. I think they'll win 7 games, and this will end up looking like a pretty solid victory for Michigan at the end of the year. So anything else on the offense before we go over to defense, or do you want to go special teams? How do you want to do it, brother?
Let's go. Actually, you know what? Let's go special teams next. Just because it's going to shock people. You know what? Not even going to let you give me the opportunity. I'm going to say it now because the bar was so low. The bar was in hell last week. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. Because we got a pulse, baby. We have a pulse on the defensive on the special teams end now. Like we have life. There's proof of life. Can talk about Joe Taylor's tackle inside the 5. Bryson Cusdall's shoestring tackle. 3 for 3 on field goals because they blew one. A perfectly executed onside recovery. Sure, they gave up a return when, Cole Sullivan and Max Bredesen missed a tackle, but the bar was so low, 5 stars.
I can't quite go that high because, like I said, the last 5-star movie I gave was Dune 1. I don't do it very often. So I'm not going to give 5 stars here because I'm going to be picky. But 4.5 stars, the one Hudson Hollenbeck punt they said was better than a return with how much it kicked back, which I thought was pretty funny shade being thrown by
Oh,
Ness
God.
on the call. But other than that, you're right. It was dramatically improved. 3 for 3 on field goals, which was great to see. Zavada getting his juice back, hits a 56-yarder, ties a career long, and the confidence looked like it had returned, obviously executing on all the extra points as well, which is, kind of an unspoken thing that we needed to see in this one, and no turnovers. So, and like you mentioned as well, the well executed, perfectly executed onside kick. It was a great day for special teams when I still was holding my breath every single time, but didn't end up having an aneurysm. So good day for all of us, really.
What is your quintessential 4-star movie?
A quintessential 4-star movie, man, that's an excellent question. Just like this 4 stars really where a lot of the
Mhm.
absolute meat on the bone is.
Was Dune 2 4
Man,
stars?
that was a 4.5-star movie. It's just a little long and overly complicated. I don't know that would be like a go-to. How about Speed?
All right, so not the example I wanted. I was gonna say like this performance by the special teams. It was like a 4-star performance normally, but it's like if Michael Bay directed Dune 2. It's like I did not know you had that in the bag. I did not know that, so it gets
That's
5
fair.
stars because of the reputation.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Maybe like Air Force One would have been a better comp. Just
Stop
like this
giving me
should be
action movies.
this should be slop, but it's good, and it should have been slop based on what we'd seen, but it was not slop from the special teams unit. Look, if we get that moving forward for the rest of the season, I think you and I will be happy. I don't care if there's not
Fantastic.
game breaking plays. Just like I need Zavada to be Zavada, and I need to not turn it over in
Yep.
that phase of the ball game, and I'm good for the rest of the year, brothers. So shout out to them. Totally agree with the high marks there. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the defense. Got some superlatives for you, and some potentially an interview. We'll talk that when we get back right after this. All right, we are back. We are righteous men. College football is very good. We are going through giving our letterboxed grades for the Michigan performance in the 30-27 win over Nebraska on Saturday. Went through mostly giving it to the units here, but couple players that we definitely want to single out as well. On the defense, I think there'll be a lot more names, a lot of people that need to get some shine on the defense here. Where would you like to go on the defense? You can go anywhere, including the play caller, Wink Martindale.
Let's start in secondary this time. That's your bread and butter.
Absolutely. Happy to. Well, first of all, they did give up a 120-yard receiver and 2 touchdowns to Ja'Cory Barney. I don't love that. He was also the one that caught the Hail Mary, so got a pretty good chunk in that 52-yarder right there. And then also got past, I think it was Hillman, blew a coverage in the secondary there. I can't go too high on this one because of, Hillman didn't have a great day. No Zeke Berry in this one. Jair Hill did end up forcing that interception that Cole Sullivan wrangled in. Excellent work on that play by Jair Hill. Really made a great break on the ball. So some good, some bad, a lot of young guys. It continues to be a trend. I think that's just the thing now is we're just going to see Jaden Sanders. He played a ton of snaps in this one. He was the third leading tackler. Second leading tackler. He had 8 tackles in this. So shout
Yeah.
out to Jaden Sanders. So, I mean, the fact that the young guys got in and played as well as they did, I want to give him credit for that. Jair Hill making that play or allowing Cole Sullivan to make that play. I can't go too low, but that's too many yards to give up. Kept him in this game, made some mental mistakes. So I'm going to go with 2.5 stars here. And it's a lot of it is I hold this secondary in high regard. I expect better.
It's more disappointment at times to see over
Yeah.
300 yards to Rayola when you look at some of the box score stuff, because I really don't feel like that's indicative of the game, especially when like the front seven, we're going to get to that, played so well and put so much pressure on. It's like just couldn't hold up a little bit better in coverage, especially on some scramble drills. I'm going to go 2. I'm going to go to the Jaden Sanders is outstanding. Buy your stock now. That kid's going to be a star. It would not shock me if he's the best one of that class. Like, he just looks so natural at the position. His tackling is already a sure thing. That's something that normally comes later for DB. So he just already looks acclimated in that aspect of the game. But the penalty by Brandon Hillman was dumb. His coverage bust in that cover 3 or cover 6 was bad. There are several instances in this game. You just want better. A lot of it's communication, and that can be cleaned up. But you want to see it a little tighter, especially on the scramble drills with Rayola, like just sticking with your man Elijah Dotson falling behind. But don't want to bury the lead here. Rod Moore is back. Our king is back to help with those communications concerns. God Moore back in the secondary. It's a massive boost. And like, he looks a little rusty because he hasn't played football in over 18 months. He's just going to get better from here. That's the bottom. He's going to get go ahead.
I was going to say, if I'm not mistaken, the first play he was out there was the interception.
Yes, it was. Just good fortune.
No, he didn't make the play, but it's just a sign from above. That's why what's a king to a god?
Exactly. Like, no, I mean, there's a lot there, but the expectation's high for this unit. They can be better. They know they can be better. But if we're talking positives, we talked about Jaden Sanders. Thought Jair Hill was very good in this game, aside from that one PI, which is just going to happen sometimes on slants. I thought you got some good stuff out of Metcalf when he was connected. But I mean, there's things to clean up. But like, I trust this unit to do it because they've shown they can do it in the past. Return a Rod Moore, getting some guys healthy is really going to help too.
Absolutely. Yeah, get Zeke Berry back out there, and then these young guys can just be depth, except for Jaden Sanders, who's just going to continue to play. There goes the red shirt. That's gone. Fine by me. If you want to go check the receipts, you'll hear me say when we got him, I think it was even after we got Earls, because Earls came later in the cycle, and I was like, Sanders is actually the one I'm slightly more excited for.
Like
this dude is a stud. He's a stud in the making. You absolutely need to buy your stock now because he's going to be starting next year. I would imagine Jair Hill goes off to the NFL. Zeke Berry still could too, but right now it would probably just be Jair, and then Jaden Sanders is just stepping right in. That's the world that we live in now. So he's definitely one of the shining stars. Also had a pass broken up in this one. A little tougher for Dotson. Definitely tough for my guy Brandon Hillman. But there's a reason that I sent you the Brian Dawkins thing on Instagram, because that was like the opening. That is, he's like, you got to have a little screw loose to play defense. And Hillman has a little bit of a screw loose, but I wouldn't trade the juice, the energy he brings for anything. But he's got to not only, ease up with the taunting stuff. That definitely led to points, but the miscommunication on the touchdown. So tough day for him, but we know he can be better. I expect him to be better.
Exactly. And I do want to give the secondary credit in one aspect in particular, the response to the Hail Mary. So you give up the Hail Mary for listeners that remember 94 Colorado, Michael Westbrook. That team never recovered from that. Granted, different situation because it was the end of the game and everything, but like the team never recovered. Like, and that kind of doomed the season. Ty Law left early because next year could have been Ty Law and Charles Woodson together. What they stole from us. So could have had that. But like, this team went in the locker room and came out like nothing happened. I mean, 3 of the first 4 possessions of the second half, Michigan's defense held them to 3 and out. And a large credit of that goes to the secondary.
Great call out there. Probably shouldn't have TJ Guy back there defending that, and probably should have called the timeout so they didn't have the opportunity for that. But look, we learned the lesson there. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you ain't going to fool me again, to quote George W. Bush. So I imagine they'll learn from that. That'll be good teach tape for them, but a good call out there. Let's keep it pushing. Go to the linebackers here?
Yeah. I have a quick trivia question for you.
Please.
All right. Cole Sullivan is now tied for second in the Big Ten with 2 interceptions on the year. 5 Wolverines have interceptions this season. Can you name them?
All right. Yes, I can probably do this. Zeke Berry,
No.
Jair Hill. Wait, I'm trying to think.
No.
Sullivan. Didn't a defensive lineman get one in the first game?
One defensive lineman does have one.
Is it Elijah Dotson got the crazy one?
Yep.
Was TJ Guy the
TJ Guy.
TJ Guy was the first one. No Zeke Berry yet.
No Zeke Berry. Got 2 more.
Jair Hill? My goodness. All right, just give it to me.
Brandon Hillman, Elijah Dotson.
Oh, okay. Elijah Dotson. Yeah, the freshman one there. That's wild. That's a weird cast of characters.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I couldn't get that. Like, I was looking at it earlier. I was like, we never would have guessed these 5 players to be the first 5 with picks this year. Like, again, TJ Guy, Brandon Hillman, Elijah Dotson, Cole Sullivan, and TJ Metcalf. That's the 5.
That's wild. But hey, the ferryman has been paid many times this season. I don't care where we get it from. I just want to see the ferryman paid.
Exactly. But to your point about the linebackers, I thought this was a 3.5-star performance. I'm not counting Jayshawn Barham here. Just full disclosure. Like, no, I'm counting him on the defensive
line. We called
line.
Him being on edge. Yeah. That's for sure.
He played some snaps at linebacker, but he's on the edge now. 3.5 stars. Again, there's some coverage stuff I want to see cleaned up, but like just a lot to like from Ernest Hausman, Jimmy Rolder, and Cole Sullivan, even Troy Bowles in this game. Just getting involved in the run game, really shutting that down, blitzing as well. So I'll give it 4. I don't need to be so harsh on that group. I'll give it 4. I thought the blitzing added a different element to that group, and it just looks more. The whole rush plan looks so synchronized from the defensive line back, and the linebackers are a part of that. I thought that was a big aspect. And then again, Cole Sullivan getting the interception. That's 4 stars.
I'm with you there. And yeah, like a 4-star, like clear and present danger, just solid for like this doesn't really miss, just solid throughout. And Jimmy Rolder with his sack, Hausman gets a sack in his return, and Jimmy Rolder with like teach tape as a tackler too. That boy can tackle. I really like what I saw from him. Yeah, you're right. We can't count Barham into this. We'll count him on the defensive line. So spoiler, that's going to be a pretty high grade there. But I was overall pretty pleased with the linebackers there. You're right about some things in coverage. That might just continue to be a thing this year, but I don't know. The more you get Cole Sullivan out there, the better things are going to look. Athlete. So, I mean, he is just becoming a must play kind of guy. Also, wasn't too surprised to see more Troy Bowles out there. I thought he made the most of his minutes against Central Michigan. I'm like, I would not be surprised if this is a guy that you start to see rotationally. And with Barham going full-time to edge, you know, that opens up some spots for depth guys there. So I love to see it, man. That like whole unit can come back next year, and looks like we're settled there for next year already. And you love to see that.
Yeah, they're doing a lot out there. I like what they're building. And again, I mean, they're a big aspect of the run defense, limiting Nebraska to 1.4 yards per carry. Like just a big day from them, especially in that aspect.
Yep. And the ferryman was paid. Good to see Ernest Hausman as the leading tackler there, the TFL, the sack in his return. Love that for him. He's trending in the right direction as well after a couple of games where it was like, I'd like to see a little more. So good to see him have a big game here. Defensive line, brother. Let's talk about it. This is a 5-star. This is why I did this. I don't give 5 stars. You're getting a 5-star.
A couple of the sacks are attributed to the linebackers, obviously, give them 4, but the defense as a whole accounted for 7 sacks, 9 TFLs. This front looked like it did in the ReliaQuest Bowl. That's about as high of a compliment as I can pay to this unit. It just came in waves at you, and it was unrelenting for 4 quarters.
And shout out to Timu Mahomes for getting over 300 yards with that many hits on the day. Like that takes something. I got to give credit where credit is due, because he kept coming back, and I was like, how is he still in this thing? And they just kept coming in waves, man. It's so many different names here. It was the best Rayshon Benny game that I've seen up to this point. It was the best Derek Moore game that I've seen up to the point this season. Cam Brandt, I thought was incredible in this game. Trey Pierce, I thought was really good in this game. Just individually, a lot of guys starting to pop here. I think, Etta had a half tackle for loss.
Etta was awesome. TJ Guy, fresh off the benching, was awesome in this game. Like, we saw the violence and the urgency that we saw last year finally reemerge. And obviously, Barham was incredible. Like, he just continues to be a difference maker.
Yeah, man. Trey, what is he? 3 sacks on the year now, I think. Should be more if he would have played the whole game against Oklahoma. And really, really coming on as an edge rusher. People are going to start taking notice. Don't be surprised if you start seeing him in mock drafts going in the first round.
He's a first rounder.
As an edge rusher, man, like if you have that kind of speed, violence, you're also good against the run, you're going in the first round. So you'll start to see his name show up if he continues this performance. Derek Moore killed a guy in this. I believe the right tackle is dead. I hope not, because I'm sure the man has a family, but my God, did Derek Moore eat in this one.
I mean, we wanted to see pressure from 4. We saw pressure from 4. We even got pressure. We got a sack from 3 in this game when Rayshon Benny just split through the B gap of a left tackle and a left guard. And he met Cam Brandt there, who I don't know if a lot of people saw this, who won on the edge, but then spun back inside. Is a really nasty move. And they met at the quarterback. There was just so much to like, man. All the rushing designs are brilliant. Like, you have one guy going high and one guy going low. Did a much better job holding the edge in this one. So this was what we talked about. We talked about this unit being similar to 2022 when it's just like a lot of depth, and that's how they played on Saturday.
Yeah, the Nebraska offense was behind the change so much in this one. Dylan Raiola accounted for negative 49 rushing yards, just made it difficult on them all day. 43 total rushing yards allowed. Like you said, man, this was the defense that we were expecting to see early on. Doesn't surprise me that it took a minute to get going. There could be a number of factors there, but I anticipate this defensive line being more like that moving forward, just because we knew we had the talent there. We knew Jayshon Barham was good. I don't know if we knew he was this good, but now that we have that. And another thing that I wrote down here is it had been Jayshon Barham and then a gap to the next best player. I think Cole Sullivan's starting to close that gap.
I think a couple people are. I think
Couple people are.
I think
Yeah.
Cole Sullivan's closing. I think Derek Moore really closed the gap in this one. He was equally unblockable on that side. And what you're seeing from the interior,
And he was great.
yeah, you're
Yep.
getting a lot more from the inside now. And just, I'm so impressed with just like the step up they took this week, because again, this is what we wanted to see from them. And you want to see the closing of the gap there. Todd McShay talked about in his podcast this past weekend how scouts have a grading thing for upperclassmen, just draft eligible people, just seniors and above. And Michigan was the highest. And it's just for great rounds 1 through 3. Michigan had the most players on the list. And it was Ernest Hausman, Rayshon Benny, TJ Guy, Derek Moore, Jayshon Barham. Like most other schools only had 3, Michigan had 5. And this is like talking about guys that could be top 100 picks. So seeing them close the gap on the field, the performance meeting the potential is exactly what you want to be at hitting the first bye week.
Love this, man. I'm not totally underwater on my 4 Wolverines in the first 2 rounds take. We're not out of this yet.
Not out of it yet, buddy. I mean, it's coming back, and you're getting depth. Like Dom Nichols getting out there in obvious pass rush situations. Nate Marshall not being hurt. That's a massive thing. He played a couple snaps in this one as well. So like you're getting guys healthy at the right time. And it's like, especially hitting this bye week coming in just a perfect time before this tough 5-game stretch, I think you're going to see this unit just to continue to ascend. But having that number 1 edge rusher makes everything so much easier.
Yeah, man. And we're going to need them. Some tricky quarterback situations coming up with Jaden Maeva, with Damon Williams from Washington, and then Julian Sand to end the year. So that pass rush is going to be called on time and time again to be part of the identity of this team. But if we're running the ball and we're pressuring the quarterback like that, and we're not turning the ball over a lot, and Dom Zavada's hitting 56-yarders, there's the formula there for a 10-2 team. Like there's your blueprint for a very good team that can make some noise.
Well, like Harbaugh always says, man, it was more teams beat themselves than the opponent beats them. So if Michigan can clean up the self-inflicted wounds, I had like 8 on offense, I had another handful on defense, like they're going to get where they want to go. If they just take care of business, everything else will fall into place. And one thing I really liked in this game was a lot of people had been on the Michigan defense for third downs. Michigan held Nebraska to 2 of 13 in this one. Really address that aspect of the game. One was the blown coverage by Hillman. So you take that out, and then it's just one. It's right there. So like this defense is just, I think Michigan's defense didn't hit this pace until like the second half of Oregon or the second half of Indiana last season, late in the year. And they're there and it's not even October yet. So that's how you know this team is in range for 10 wins.
Yep, it's a great call. And Rod Moore back, let him get his feet underneath him. Zeke Berry hopefully will be back after the bye week, knock on wood. There's room for him to get better too, particularly in pass defense. But look, it takes a notch down when you go Wisconsin, but then like I said, Jaden Maeva, Damon Williams, some quarterbacks that'll test the secondary. So Wink Martindale in this one feels like a 4-star game to me, just because the Hail Mary and a miscommunication on defense, which is probably Brandon Hillman's fault.
Yeah, the miscommunication, like you'd want to say that's more execution than him, but you could also say maybe he overly disguised it. Maybe he told Hillman to be too close to the line of scrimmage, so you kind of disguise yourself into a coverage bust. So it's 4 stars though. I mean, Dana Holgerson and Dylan Raiola were a step behind all game long. After that opening script, they just settled in and just completely confused this Nebraska front. They had no idea where the pressure's coming from, when it was coming, who wasn't. Like, I was just very impressed by the scheme. But I mean, this is what we've come to expect over the last 2 years.
It's it's not the Schindler's List. It's like the Minority Report or the War of the Worlds of the Spielberg catalog. Like, good 4-star movie. You know he's not going to miss. But did it get to Schindler's List, Jurassic Park level? It did not.
It's kind of like Bridge of Spies.
You know how I feel about Bridge of Spies.
Yeah,
I have a very soft spot in my heart for Bridge of Spies, and that's a perfect example of a 4-star movie.
It's like it's right here in his wheelhouse. 5-star obviously would be the Ohio State game. Like, I mean, that's like
the Jurassic
Park. Like Casablanca. Yeah. That's what that performance was like last season. So it's just so good to see everyone getting on the same page. And again, I trust the secondary is going to get there.
I would agree with that. And yeah, bye week comes at a great time. Lots of other big games this Saturday coming up it'll be a great Saturday for those of you able to watch. I have a wedding to go to. I'm not even going to say a bad word about it. It is what it is. At least he had the decency to put it on the Michigan bye. If it were all those games and a Michigan game that I'm missing, I might have to protest.
That would be unacceptable. I mean, Nate knows better than that.
He does. He knows better. The guy did our logo, so shout out to him. Appreciate the work on that. Couple other notes that I had here, just some general notes. The offense here, they came out with a list of the fastest players this week. 2 of them were on Michigan. Justice Haynes gets up to 21.5 miles an hour, and Bryce Underwood got up to 21.3. Running back speed at that size is insane. He's a long strider, so you don't quite
That's the
notice it, but he
deception.
is stupid fast. It's crazy.
That's the deceptive part. Like, you see the stride, it's like, oh, he's not moving that fast. It's like, why is everybody else drifting away from him? It's like, oh yeah, because he
Right.
is that fast. And it looked just like the JJ McCarthy touchdown run from 2 years ago against
You
Nebraska.
sent us
Like,
that.
the seas just parted. So awesome to see. Great design and just a perfectly timed call. And you love seeing Bryce that confident in the open field.
Another note here, Justice Haynes in all of last season at Alabama, 79 carries, 448 yards, 7 touchdowns. In 4 games at Michigan, 66 carries, 537 yards, 6 touchdowns. He's on pace for a 1,600-yard rushing season. Absolutely crushing it right now, having a special season. And I know we called him out at the top, but that wasn't enough. We're calling him out at the back end too, because Justice Haynes, man, and justice be done.
It just feels like we're so spoiled now to just like expect a 75-yard touchdown run every week. Like, it's like when it doesn't happen, it's like, oh, I mean, I guess he had 200 yards and 4 yards a carry, but 75-yarder would have been nice. Like, we're in that territory now with Justice Haynes in the spectacular.
Yep. Also wrote down Dom Zavada kicking like he's angry, kicking like he just watched his girlfriend leave the Benihana with another man. And I'm like, yes, kick angry, son. Kick angry, my boy. Love it. Love to see that there. I also wrote Dylan Raiola's just going to accidentally end up in a good quarterback situation. I think just because like they've brought in some real wide receivers. This team's going to be just good enough to get into a bowl game. He's probably not going to be good enough to come out next year. So I could see him playing like all 4 years under one coach with some okay wide receivers. And I'm like, he's going to like end up in a pretty good quarterback situation at Nebraska and set himself up nicely for the future, even though it's completely by accident. He went to Nebraska to be closer to Patrick Mahomes, I assume.
He might be good enough to come out after next year. I mean, he's very talented.
I was pretty impressed.
He's talented. Yeah. He's tough. He can do a lot of things. Like, say what we will about the cosplaying and everything else, but like, it wouldn't shock me, especially like you look at next year and how things are unfolding. It's like, I mean, who do you feel more confident in right now, Dylan Raiola or Arch Manning? Like, I've seen more from Raiola.
It's a good call out, man. Credit where credit is due. I thought he was impressive. Looking around the Big Ten, Indiana absolutely boat races Illinois. You got me on that one, but I did not see it in that level. How is Indiana able to do this in back-to-back years with all new personnel?
Signetti has those guys so locked into the details. It's impressive. I mean, it's more than impressive what he does to get the buy-in, to get everybody just so down to just such a finite level and locked in. I will say the Illinois is not 53 points worse than Indiana. Score got run up. No. Everything changed once Illinois' green dot, their safety in the middle of the field, left the game. Like, that really changed the complexion of what they want to do defensively. Now, Illinois' offensive line is in trouble. Like, I know they brought back all 5 starters from last year, but they were bad against Duke and they were horrible against Indiana. And the Indiana run defense is stout, but Illinois has got some issues on the interior, which you don't expect from a Brett Bielema team.
No, I would agree. And that was a big surprise in that. And 63-10 it's just a fascinating result. And I mean, we were like happy we didn't see Oregon this year. I think we should be happy we don't draw Indiana this year.
Look tough, man. Mendoza's locked in. We liked Roman Hindy when he was at Maryland, so to come over now and add another weapon to that backfield, I think they're going to do some things. Like, I feel like they just got better this offseason. You and I discussed that when we were doing our season previews of the Big Ten. Like, Indiana might be better if they can avoid the Florida State, dip down when you're adding transfer for the second straight year. But with Signetti at the helm, they seem to have a grasp on it.
And Mendoza at quarterback, I buy into him. Both Washington and USC win, put up serious amounts of points. Very interested to see how the Michigan defense will fare against those particular teams. Purdue showing some life against Notre Dame. I thought that was a spirited showing, starting to come back to life a little bit. I don't know if it'll equate to any wins, but Oregon continues to roll. And anything else you wanted to touch on in the Big Ten?
Where's Kurt Signetti coaching next year?
Didn't he sign an extension? I'm pretty sure he's under contract for a while.
But contracts don't matter.
It doesn't matter. He is going to get offered a boatload of money to go to Florida.
I mean, Florida, if Clemson wants to make a move, Virginia Tech, he had success, at James Madison, so he knows that area well. We'll see what happens at Wisconsin. Like, he's got to be the first call for anybody, right? Oklahoma State probably
Yeah.
will open up, and you see what he can do in the portal, so you know the turnaround can happen immediately.
Yeah, the only one of those that I would think would be worth it would be Florida at this time. I think a lot of those other ones are pretty lateral when you've got it rolling at Indiana, and they've
You
clearly
think
committed to
Clemson is lateral
NIL.
to Indiana?
No, I don't think that, but I don't think that
Okay.
one will open. That one seems like the most
I was about to
unlikely.
say, I don't think I would call that lateral.
No, definitely not. That'd be an upgrade, but they'd be wild to move on from Dabo just because
Yeah,
of
I
this
think so
bad
too.
season. I think it's more like an institutional thing with NIL. Like in Indiana was willing to pony up to bring in a really good transfer class. Clemson doesn't seem willing to do that. Virginia Tech, from what I've read, is really not willing to do that. And they're like way behind the times
I
with
heard
their
they're
football
investing in that
program right
though.
now.
Like that, they're changing that this
Yeah.
offseason to make it more lucrative. I mean, Indiana wasn't like that when he got there. Like I think that's why he was able to
No,
upgrade the roster so much now. So it's like
it's
you add
true.
the Signetti factor, that can change things.
Yeah, I think Wisconsin's likely going to open up after a disastrous loss to Maryland, who's my biggest whiff of the year by far. That was my lock for the under. They're about to one more win and they're going over. I didn't expect that Malik Washington kid to be that good so fast.
He's good. He's good, man. I mean, that game, I mean, we'll see how the season shakes out for them. We'll see when it sets in that he is still a true freshman, but like early on, taking care of business.
Yep. And Wisconsin, if that opens up, Brett Bielema, that was something you
It
texted
feels
me,
like
and I
it.
was
I
like,
like
that's
that.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
circling the
going back to what
wagons.
works.
Yeah, Rich Rod
Yeah.
back at WVU. It's like, okay, why don't we go on back? Let's go back home. He had success there before he left for Arkansas.
I'm with you. No podcast this Thursday. Who you got? Oregon at Penn State.
Oregon, but it's close. I think it's a really tight game. I think the whiteout environment's going to be incredible. I think Jim Knowles knows how to scheme up a Will Stein offense. Just go watch the Rose Bowl again. And I think they'll be able to keep it close, but I think they're going to want Drew Aller to do too much. If they focus on running the football and just playing smash mouth, let's get nasty down in the muck, I think they could win this thing. But I think they're going to put too much on Drew Aller, and they're not ready to have the conversation with him that he's not the quarterback he thinks he is. And I really think they made a mistake in not having Bo Prabula be the starting quarterback this year.
Yep, I completely agree with that take. Prabula's looked awesome at Missouri. Another surprising team there. I've got Oregon in that one as well, winning outright, not just covering. Penn State favored by like a field goal right now. So that'll be an interesting one. All right, brother, that is going to do it for us, unless you got anything else.
No, I think that's it. That's it for us. I mean, it's going to be weird not having not having Michigan ball this weekend, but nice little chance to step away. You get to go enjoy a wedding. I have a quick little family vacation, recharge the batteries, and we come back and it's Wisconsin preview time. And brother, we have exciting interviews. We will be in attendance at Wisconsin. Find us, track us down. Let's talk. Let's toast some beers. It's a noon kick. When we come back, man, all cylinders.
Oh, yeah. We enter the most important stretch on this Michigan schedule, and we will be here for the duration. Thank you to producer Tony. I'm Jared. That's Andy. This is Out of the Blue. We'd like to remind you that wherever you go, go blue.
All right, Michigan fans, it's time to lock in. Our guest today is one of the fastest and nastiest Wolverines on Team 146. You most recently saw him dominating defensive backs to help spring Jordan Marshall last Saturday, and you might also remember his toe tap touchdown against Alabama in the ReliaQuest Bowl. He's number 3 on the field, number 1 in your hearts, and the best thing to come out of St. Louis since Nelly's Country Grammar. Ladies and gentlemen, it's national champion, Michigan wide receiver, Fred Moore.
How y'all doing?
Appreciate you stopping by, man. A lot of people, a lot of podcasts will do. We know you got an initiative you want to talk about. A lot of people do that at the end. We like to do it up front here. So why don't you tell us, man, what you got going on? Tell the people where they can find your work, all that stuff.
So I partner with Popeyes to pursue myself better on the field and off the field. And Popeyes has a roster of not a college student, and yeah, so you can redeem my code online, more12 on the online at Popeyes, and you can get 12 wings for $12. So go redeem that code, and then I will have a tailgate for if I win for the most people who redeem that code, and more12.
Love this,
I
man.
love
We'll
chicken.
make sure we put. I mean, I love chicken. I also have Popeyes. This is controversial. I have Popeyes ahead of Chick-fil-A. I just do.
I do
Yeah,
too.
me
It's
too, bro.
superior
The chicken
chicken.
sandwich is just different, bro.
It's
It's
so
different.
much better.
It's
Again, I can go on Sundays, which is normally when, I mean, not you because you're a high level athlete. When I'm hungover, though, I can go there, make me feel better, get that 12 for 12, keep it going.
man.
I
I
feel
got
you,
in
bro.
I got in the Popeyes line at it was early. It was like when the chicken sandwich first hit, man. And we were going big on that. So we were waiting in line for an hour for that. And I was like, no, trust me, it's worth it.
Bro, I went to the Popeyes on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. Bro, it was so crowded in there, but it was probably the crispiest Popeyes I ever had. Like it was so great.
Man, we absolutely love it, man. So we'll make sure to put that in the post as well, where they can
Yeah.
find that in the code and everything and all that for you, man. So we really appreciate you coming on, man. So got some questions for you. First of all, man, thank you for what you've done in bringing Michigan a national championship. And last year in the Lawyer Quest Bowl was a ton of fun, man. You brought a lot of energy to the end of that season. It's really carried over into this season. And I think we just got done talking about how excited we are about this team, man. But how has this receiving room grown since you came to Michigan in your estimation?
It grows a lot. To me, we added some new additions to the freshmen, and then we got 2 transfers. So it's just been bringing all different flavors, all different types of players now. Now that we can get guys, I feel as though with NIL, you can get guys from anywhere now. So it just really brought competition. It brought guys from everywhere, and it just you can view people games at different levels now with us being college because it's the best of the best. So
Yeah.
that's what I feel like it grown most just really with the competition. And we have different flavors of what we can play at receivers.
How does it feel to be the vet now? Like, it feels like just a few days ago you committed, and you're on the team with Roman and CJ and players like that, but now you're the vet. So how are you giving back to the younger guys to help show them the way like vets showed you when you came to Michigan 2 years ago?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I just passed the game down how I learned it. It's me being a fast learner. Not everybody can be a fast learner, so I gave them the gems of how you can learn the playbook fast, or just like where you will line up with this. Do this make sense? How this coverage look? Just just picking their brains, but also like bringing their brains back together. Just always not being too rough on them or being too
Yeah.
harsh on them, but just letting them learn because mistakes can be a biggest character of learning too. Just not being on them too much. Just really just honing in on the details myself and setting an example. Being an effort guy, so they know when they get in the same position as me, and when they get their opportunity, they know it take hard work, dedication on and off the field. So that's how I feel like I stepped into that role.
Man, and both for you as a player and as a teammate, how valuable was it to play for a national contender your first year and to be around all that winning and to see how a high level program operates like that? And how has that set you up for future success, both as a football player and just in your career moving forward?
Because now you just know that what it takes to win and how do you even win these games? Because it starts with practice. It starts with spring ball, then fall camp, then the season. Like, what work are you putting in throughout the times? And I was asked this question of how you get prepared for Iowa State. It's the same way that you get prepared for the season. It take all 365 days of you disciplining yourself until you get the glory of seizing an opportunity. So that's how I feel.
What has Sue Campbell brought to the room this year?
So my guy, I mean, he brought us in of because he coached all the greats. I mean, he did the details how to be 1% better than everybody else. He gave us some details he gave the guys back in the day and now to now because he been working for so long he can mirror the games together and show you how it's really done.
Nice. Is there a player you model your game after, either at Michigan or NFL or any level?
I would say a guy that I mirror my game after Devontae Smith,
Nice.
and Calvin Ridley. I mean, those are 2 guys that I really watch playing, and sometimes I watch Amari Cooper or Jerry Judy. So them really the guys I try to mirror my game after.
Now, this is a very important question to me. A few years ago, I went through a long list of everybody. I broke it down by the numbers to determine the 100% correct answer, and I need to know this 'cause I think you're a contender. Who's the fastest player on the team?
The fastest player,
You can say yourself.
I wouldn't say myself. Anthony Simpson is up there. I go Ant, and I go. It's a tie between Coos and Justice. Them some pretty fast guys.
Bryson
So
Coostal's that fast?
yeah, Coos fast.
That's
And
surprising.
shout out my boy Forbes pretty fast too.
Logan Forbes with the wheels?
Yeah.
I
love
like
this.
this. So when Harbaugh was there, he would do a lot of the races and the competition, everything. Has Sharon Moore kind of kept that going?
Yeah, we race. Sometimes it's not as much. I mean, we really don't race. It just really
Yeah.
you just really see our miles per hour.
Yeah. Um, getting back to more on the field football stuff, how have you and other veteran players on this team helped a true freshman quarterback in Bryce Underwood? I mean, I know it's a
Um,
lot to acclimate to the college game, but especially at that position. But I feel like Michigan at the offensive line and skill positions, defensive, have done a great job lifting him up. So have you done anything in particular to just help him settle into the offense?
just doing our job. I mean, we know some freshmen is gonna make mistakes, so we just do our job so we can limit that and we can help him. Like, if you do your job as a receiver, you got this route, you run it, it's an easier read for him if you're not knowing what you're doing. So just striving to be little to the details to make the picture clear for him and easier for him. So that's what I feel like we done the best is just really just do our jobs.
Yeah, and it shows on the field. What are the vibes like after a big win on the road against Nebraska, 3-1? A lot of great stuff to take away from that game. How are the vibes in general going into the bye?
It's great. It was a happy flight back, and the vibe's been great, and we've been blessed, and God willing, we got our coach back now, so we just been on the road, so smiles on everybody's face because Coach Moore back, and we're just happy.
I just want to say we need more. We need more snaps for Fred now. We need more snaps. We got a couple out there last week, and what happened? We scored a touchdown right away. So good things happen when you're on the field, man. I love seeing you make the most out of a blocking role too. Like you were
Which
just
was,
blocking very intentionally and violent. I know it's no block, no rock at Michigan, so I love to see you embody that. What else you been working on in your game this year?
I mean, I just really been working on a routine, into my routine. The better my routine is, the more of a routine I'll be in on the field. If that's me, if my routine that day of blocking, then I gotta block. If my routine of me catching, being consistent, because me getting a consistent routine can help my consistency at practice on real life scenarios. So just really building consistency, consistent on the field and off the field habits. So
It's like that quote I really like. It's like how you do one thing is how you do everything.
yeah.
And Chip Lindsey coming over to this team this year, noticed what he's brought to the offense from an outsider's perspective. What have you seen from inside the building about what Chip Lindsey's brought to that offense and to this team?
Chip just brought his creative ideas to the offense. I mean, it's pretty fun playing in his offense, especially as a Z, because you're gonna get every single opportunity that you wanted to as kids, just to really play pitch and catch. With us having Chip, he's throwing the receivers the ball. We making the opportunity, to making the most opportunities because Bryce can put it anywhere on the field. Just with Chip being receiver friendly and stuff like that, I mean, we're just having fun. We just taking the opportunities that we get.
Who does the best Chip Lindsey impression on the team?
I haven't really heard no Chip Lindsey impression.
Because you know he's got that southern drawl is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, he got a southern draw to him for sure.
So you've had some big plays at Michigan. Is there like a memory that stands out? Like what picture is going to be hanging on your wall when it's all said and done and you step away?
What picture be hanging on my wall? Probably just really my first career catch, just knowing like from what I came from and now I'm in Michigan, it's kind of like nobody else can say that. So just remember the first catch because after I got my first catch, it kind of build me as a character and just started showing me that don't take it for granted. Probably my first catch or the Alabama catch. About my first
That's the
TD.
that's the one.
That's a
That
big
was
one.
the one. And that was a hell of a ball from Davis in the corner of the end zone. I was like, there's the Fred Moore we've been talking about. There he is showing out. That one was awesome. And I think the right answer is we haven't seen it yet. I think the one that's going to be
Yet to
hanging on the
come.
wall, we still haven't seen it yet. I still think it's coming. So I think there's
Yes,
still a
sir.
big catch in your future that's going to be hanging on the wall one day. But off the field, man, like it's the bye week. What are you doing this week? Hanging out, catching up on sleep, taking your girl out? What are you doing this week?
I'll probably just relax, bring myself peace of mind, just keep myself company, play a little bit of 2K, play the game. Um, I may just get some Popeyes, get my regular order of Popeyes
Let's
chicken
go.
sandwich with bacon, sweet heat, and a biscuit, and just relax my mind. That's probably what I'll just do for the bye week,
Man's
for sure.
professional. You already got it. You
Love
already
this,
got it
man.
down. That was good.
You got to figure it out. Last question for you, man. It's still a ways away. We got a lot of season left, bye week, and then it's Wisconsin. But in the back of your mind, how often you guys bringing up Ohio State, knowing that that game they're coming back to our house at the end of the year?
Oh, we get ready for that game 365. So, I mean, it starts today. What you doing today to beat Ohio State? So that's what mentality we going forward. And we you know that everybody has Michigan, Ohio State circled on their calendars. We'll be preferred when they come.
Appreciate you, man. Fred Moore, wide receiver at Michigan. Thank you so much for taking the time, man. Why don't you shout out your promotion with Popeyes one more time for the people? We'll make sure that it's in the article as well.
Okay, appreciate you. I mean, I partner with Popeyes to pursue myself better on and off the field. And it's a college roster of 9 other college football players. And I have a code, More12, online. You go online to the Popeyes app, enter More12. You can get 12 wings for $12. And the person that redeems the most codes, which my code is More12, only use that code, get a free tailgate at the end of the year. And I appreciate that.
I'm eating Popeyes today to beat Ohio State. That's what I'm doing.
Use More12
anyway.
Use More12.
You got it, man. We appreciate it, Fred Moore. Man, keep doing what you're doing, man. We've been really enjoying watching the team this year. And as always, sir, thank you for your time.